Jay-Z stopped eating and said something that completely changed my understanding of personal branding and wealth building. Most artists think their talent is their business. I realized my talent was just my marketing budget for building the real business, me. The restaurant's ambient music seemed fitting as he continued. Every song, every album, every performance was an advertisement for Jay-Z the brand. Once that brand had credibility and cultural influence, I could leverage it into any industry where taste and authenticity mattered. Tonight, I'm sitting across from Shawn Carter, better known as Jay-Z, who transformed from a crack dealer in Brooklyn's Marcy projects into hip-hop's first billionaire with a net worth of $1.4 billion. But as he's about to reveal, his greatest business insight wasn't about making music. It was about understanding that he himself was the product, and everything else was just different ways to monetize that brand. People get it twisted when they analyze my success, Jay-Z continued, his Brooklyn accent still evident despite decades of boardroom meetings. They think I'm a rapper who got lucky with some business deals. But really, I'm a businessman who used rap music as venture capital to fund my real enterprise, building Shawn Carter into a global brand worth over $1 billion. The waiter brought our drinks, but Jay-Z's focus remained on the strategic thinking that built his empire. From day one, even when I was hustling on street corners, I understood that everything is about brand and reputation. In the drug game, your word is your bond because there's no legal system to enforce contracts. You are your business, and your business is only as strong as people's trust in you. When I transitioned to music, I applied the same principle. I wasn't just trying to make hit records, I was building credibility that could be converted into currency across multiple industries. Jay-Z showed me early photos from his Rocawear Records days, pointing out the strategic branding decisions even then. Look at how we positioned Rocawear from the beginning. We didn't just want to be another record label, we wanted to be a lifestyle brand. The diamond hand gesture, the luxury imagery, the entrepreneurial messaging. Every video, every interview, every public appearance was building the mythology of Jay-Z as someone who represented success, sophistication, and street credibility. But the real breakthrough was understanding that music was just one revenue stream for a much larger business model. Jay-Z the brand could sell fashion, liquor, sports ownership, streaming services, anything where cultural authenticity mattered. The first course arrived, but Jay-Z's passion for business strategy kept him engaged. The Rocawear deal taught me the most about brand extension. We launched the clothing line in 1999, and by 2007, I sold it for $204 million. But here's the key. I retained the licensing rights to my name and likeness, so I got the $204 million up front, but I still earn royalties every time they use the Jay-Z brand. That's when I fully understood the power of treating yourself like a corporation. Corporations license their intellectual property. They don't just sell it outright. Jay-Z became my most valuable intellectual property. How did you develop that business mindset? Growing up in Marcy projects, you learn entrepreneurship by necessity. My mother worked multiple jobs, but we still struggled. I saw older cats in the neighborhood making money through various hustles, and I realized that successful street entrepreneurs had the same skills as legitimate businessmen: market analysis, risk assessment, customer relationship management, supply chain optimization. The drug game was my MBA program, as dark as that sounds. You learn to read markets, understand demand, build distribution networks, manage cash flow, and most importantly, protect your brand reputation because your life depends on it. Jay-Z pulled up his early business partnerships, showing how he applied street lessons to corporate deals. When we started Rocawear Records with Damon Dash and Kareem Burke, I insisted on maintaining ownership and control. Most artists sign to labels and give away their masters for an advance. We distributed through Priority Records, but kept ownership of our catalog. That decision was worth hundreds of millions, because I understood that the real value isn't in the upfront payment, it's in the long-term royalties and ownership rights. Street hustlers think the same way. You want to own your corners, not just work for someone else's operation. The 40/40 Club was my next brand extension, taking Jay-Z from music and fashion into hospitality and lifestyle. But I didn't just slap my name on a generic sports bar. We created an upscale experience that reflected the sophistication and success associated with my brand. The main course was served, and Jay-Z reflected on his most strategic business moves. The real game changer was becoming president of Def Jam in 2004. Most artists would never take an executive role because they think it's beneath them or too corporate. But I saw it as graduate school for the music business while getting paid $10 million to learn how the industry really works. During my time at Def Jam, I learned label operations, artist development, marketing strategies, distribution deals, and most importantly, how to navigate corporate politics while maintaining street credibility. But you left Def Jam to start Roc Nation. Why? Because being an employee, even a highly paid one, has a ceiling. Ownership has unlimited upside. Roc Nation wasn't just another record label. It was a full-service entertainment company that could represent athletes, manage tours, produce content, and eventually expand into any industry where talent and culture intersected. The key insight was that my brand had enough credibility to attract talent beyond music. Athletes like Robinson Cano, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving joined Roc Nation Sports because they trusted the Jay-Z brand to maximize their earning potential. Jay-Z showed me Roc Nation's client roster, demonstrating the diversification across entertainment and sports. Each client relationship strengthens the overall brand. When I'm sitting courtside at NBA games or backstage at major concerts, I'm not just enjoying myself. I'm networking, building relationships, and reinforcing the Jay-Z brand as synonymous with success and access. Tell me about Tidal and your approach to disrupting the music industry. Tidal was about ownership and control of the distribution channel. Spotify and Apple Music were making billions off artists' content while paying minimal royalties. I realized that if artists owned the streaming platform, we could control both the content and the distribution. The initial reception was mixed because people thought it was just another vanity project. But Tidal gave me something more valuable than immediate profits. It gave me leverage in negotiations with other streaming platforms and record labels. The restaurant was quieter now, allowing us to explore his most sophisticated business strategies. The Armand de Brignac Champagne acquisition was pure brand synergy. I'd been name-dropping Ace of Spades in songs for years, creating millions of dollars in free marketing for the brand. When I bought the company, I wasn't just acquiring a luxury product. I was vertically integrating my marketing efforts. Same strategy with Douce Cognac. Instead of just endorsing someone else's product for a fee, I negotiated ownership stakes and profit participation. Every time I mention these brands in songs or public appearances, I'm literally advertising my own companies. How do you value these brand extensions? It's not just about immediate revenue. It's about brand ecosystem value. When Jay-Z endorses something, it becomes culturally relevant. When Jay-Z owns something, it becomes an aspirational luxury brand. That cultural influence is worth more than any individual product sale. The Brooklyn Nets ownership stake was the ultimate brand validation. Professional sports ownership is the highest level of American capitalism. It sent a message that Jay-Z wasn't just rich, he was establishment wealthy. Jay-Z pulled up photos from various business deals and red carpet events, showing the consistent brand presentation. Every public appearance is a business opportunity. When Beyoncé and I are photographed at the Met Gala, we're not just socializing, we're reinforcing our brand as cultural royalty. That image translates into business opportunities, partnership offers, and increased valuations for our existing ventures. The power couple dynamic with Beyoncé multiplies both our individual brands. Together, we represent the intersection of music, fashion, culture, and business success. That combined platform gives us access to opportunities that neither of us could achieve separately. What about your investment portfolio? Real estate, tech startups, art collection, diversification across asset classes that appreciate over time. But I'm not just a passive investor. I look for companies where the Jay-Z brand can add value through cultural credibility or celebrity endorsement. Uber, for example. I was an early investor, but I also helped legitimize ride-sharing in urban communities where trust and safety were concerns. My investment and endorsement helped Uber penetrate markets they might have struggled with otherwise. As our dinner wound down, Jay-Z reflected on the broader implications of personal brand monetization. The difference between being rich and being wealthy is understanding that your personal brand is your most valuable asset. Rich people have high incomes. Wealthy people have appreciating assets that generate income without their direct involvement. I've built systems where Jay-Z the brand generates revenue 24/7, whether I'm sleeping, traveling, or focused on new projects. That's the real power of treating yourself like a business. You create passive income streams that compound over time. What's your advice for building personal brands? First, understand that authenticity is your competitive advantage. Don't try to be someone else's version of success. Find what makes you unique and amplify that. My Brooklyn street credibility combined with business sophistication is something nobody else can replicate. Second, think long-term about brand building. Every decision should be evaluated based on whether it strengthens or weakens your brand equity. Short-term money isn't worth long-term brand damage. Third, own your intellectual property. Whether it's music masters, business ventures, or licensing deals, always negotiate for ownership stakes rather than just upfront payments. What's next for the Jay-Z business empire? Continued diversification into industries where culture and commerce intersect. Cannabis, tech platforms, social impact investments, anywhere the Jay-Z brand can add value while generating returns. But the ultimate goal is generational wealth. I'm not just building businesses for myself. I'm creating assets that will benefit my children and their children. That requires thinking beyond quarterly profits to multi-decade value creation. As we stood to leave, Jay-Z offered his final insight about personal branding and business empire building. The biggest lesson from my journey is that your personal brand is either an appreciating or depreciating asset. Every choice you make, every association you have, every public statement you give either adds value to or subtracts value from your brand equity. Most people think about personal branding as marketing or self-promotion, but really, it's about building a valuable intellectual property that can be monetized across multiple industries and time periods. I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. And that business is designed to generate wealth long after I stop performing. That's the difference between being an entertainer and being an entrepreneur. This evening with Jay-Z revealed that the most successful personal brands aren't built around talent alone, but around the systematic monetization of credibility, cultural influence, and authentic reputation across every industry where those assets create value. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the other videos to hear the most private dinner conversations where billionaires reveal their deepest secrets. Which part inspired you the most? Drop it in the comments. Let's figure out how to become billionaires together.